Scams directed at seniors are nothing new, but statistics show scams are on the rise as many seniors continue to fall victim to these crimes. Reporter Jacqueline Quinn explains.
I started getting these phone calls. The first one was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they told me that I had won $2 or $3 million in a red convertible.
That was Margaret Ricotta recalling her experience with scam artists over the phone. She didn't give them any information, but they've continued to call her. Other seniors have not been as lucky. Detective Daniel Moreno says one trend in particular is on the rise in Torrance.
They're labeling them as gypsy scams, where people will go to the house and try to convince the person that there's something wrong with the house. Usually it's two people, and they'll separate the people. The one person will take the soon-to-be victim to one part of the house, as the other one says they're inspecting some water, anything of that nature, maybe cable, but what they're really doing is burglarizing the home.
Burglaries have increased nearly 3% over the last year in the city, but taking a look at August, there were 51 reported incidents, and compared to 194 in Redondo Beach, the figure could be a lot higher. Ricotta says crooks haven't been trying to come into her home, but the calls have spread around her.
For a while, they stopped calling, but then they started calling my neighbor.
It's unclear why senior scams are rising, but the report suggests the elderly are targeted because they often don't know who to report the crime to, feel ashamed afterwards, and con artists count on them to be more trusting.
Don't ever talk yourself out of calling us.
Adrian Fleming, a consumer fraud specialist, says the rough economy could be a factor in why these incidents are going up.
Telemarketing scams are on the rise because people are in the desperate situation of needing to stretch their dollar a little bit farther, so that when you get an opportunity where before you might have said, oh, that sounds foolish, you're a little bit more inclined to believe.
Burglars also focus on seniors because they're counting on them to have a lot of money lying around.
Some people think that the elderly are an easy victim because they have usually large amounts of emergency cash because they don't want to deal with banks, whatever their beliefs might be. They feel that sometimes their memory might be bad because so they won't be able to get a good description or a license plate.
I've had a couple where it was they brought a child with them. They even put you more at ease.
The detectives gave residents a few tips to stay safe.
And they're hoping that you're not home. Thus, if you don't answer the door, they think you're not home, so they'll break in.
So always answer your door, but don't open it, and try to get a description of the scam artist to tell police after they leave. Detective Flores says maintaining a good relationship with your neighbor is crucial.
Being in contact with your neighbors, because your neighbors are going to be the ones that are going to be calling the police.
They both stress the importance of locking all your windows and doors.
There's a lot of bad guys out there that come and take advantage of that.
And a little bit of creativity in hiding your valuables goes a long way. Moreno says bedrooms are often the first place thieves search.
Hardly ever is your garage ever burglarized. It's usually they want to get inside your house.
Ricotta says she took notes of the police presentation and hopes after taking another step to end the telemarketing calls, they won't return.
In the meantime, I had my phone number changed and an unlisted number so no one could call in and get it.
Detective Moreno wrapped up saying he encourages residents to look into home security as Torrance police continue to step up their campaign to have residents keep a closer eye on their neighborhood. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jacqueline Quinn.
Thanks, Jackie. For more information on how to protect yourself from scams, go to the Torrance Police Department's webpage on the city's website.
Supporters of Providence Trinity Kids can give their mouses and keyboards a break. All those clicks from online votes have earned the Hospice Center a brand new set of wheels. Reporter Jacqueline Quinn takes us to Toyota headquarters for this story.
Providence Trinity Kids received a rare gift this week after winning a very competitive contest on Facebook. Over 5,000 groups initially applied, but only 100 were chosen by voters to receive a special prize.
Providence obviously had a great turnout. They really rallied their troops and they got the votes, and I was talking to some of the folks from there and they told me how they even went outside of the country to people in Mexico.
And Providence staff were on edge to hear the news after a summer-long campaign to see if they had won a limited edition minivan. Barbara Roberts recalls the day her group was up for voting.
We didn't know officially till the next day, but we had a sense at the end of the day we knew our votes were ahead.
Dr. Glenn Komatsu, who works close with the children in hospice care, was thrilled when he finally found out the results. He spoke about his reaction and what this vehicle means from his perspective.
So we were pretty excited. It's very, we have a kind of a tricky program to market. We don't want to tell people, we take care of dying children, but, it's important work.
Jim Lentz, president of Toyota Motor Sales, congratulated the group on its win.
And it's a testament to the great work that they do at Providence, that they were chosen not by Toyota, but by the public.
He hopes this gift is more than just a car to get patients from one point to another.
To us, this is glass, it's metal, it's steel, it's rubber. But to them, it helps provide dreams. It helps them take care of these kids that they take care of. So it really helps people get more out of their life.
This van actually has room for 7 people, which is nearly an entire family. But what's most important is this chair, which actually lowers so that patients with wheelchair or extra equipment are able to get into the car a lot easier.
Most people don't have that capability in their van, so it'll make it very easy for us to transport these families.
This is the hospice program's first and only van. It'll service about 150 families. Many patients in the past have often had to take public transit for appointments because they didn't have transportation.
We work with a lot of lower socioeconomic children, people that don't have cars, they don't have transportation, and so these families and children really need a way to get to their appointments, and a van like this can really help us provide that service.
Dr. Komatsu says the children's hospice program at Providence is only one of 2 in California. The next closest is over 80 miles away in San Diego. That's why he hopes after the excitement fades, people will not forget what programs like his are about.
People never want to think about any child dying or not doing well, but it is one of the realities of life, and these children deserve our care.
For CitiCABLE 3, I'm Jacqueline Quinn.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Toyota says they hope to make the contest an annual event. For more information on the Providence Trinity Kids Care Program, visit providence.org. Still ahead, we'll tell you what some newborns have in common.
But first, here's your 5-day forecast.
Leadership Torrance is the city's most prominent development and networking group in the city. To be part of Leadership Torrance, you must complete the 7-month-long curriculum, which teaches how participants can become more effective by connecting with top leaders and experts in the South Bay, examining Torrance's citywide issues, and developing a broad network of professional experts. If you're interested in applying to the 2012 Leadership Torrance program, call the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce at 310-540-5858 or visit torrancechamber.org. Applications are due on December 2nd. Candidates will be notified of acceptance by December 16th.
While high unemployment is a challenge for anyone, it can be especially challenging for recent veterans. Reporter Hiba Samed tells us about a career fair designed to help servicemen and women.
Sherry Davis, a 19-year veteran of the U.S. military, understands what it's like for the hundreds of veterans who turned out at today's career fair.
Knowing what it's like to be a really important person one day and the crucial element to an Army unit, and to come home next day and not be able to have a job and not be able to be taken seriously, maybe because I don't have a big background in management. I know what that feels like.
Davis now works for an organization called VetsUnitus.org to help other vets find employment.
With a huge turnout today, veterans have been walking from booth to booth, picking up brochures like these with information about services and employment for veterans.
It's pretty tough because I've been out almost a year and a half, and the issue is companies are hiring, but the pool of applicants is so enormous.
While the nation's unemployment rate has fallen since April 2011, it's actually increased for veterans. Veterans like Mario Liego, who served in the Air Force in Vietnam, who came to the fair hoping his distinct skills will help him find a job.
It's the responsibility and the discipline you come from being a veteran. I mean, being a veteran means that you've committed for a period of time to an organization to follow their rules.
And recruiter Terry Fuji from Vector Resources, a voice data and network company, agrees that veterans have a unique work ethic.
We do have a soft spot for veterans, and I found that the veterans have a real good sense of teamwork.
And the teamwork of Torrance Chamber of Commerce, and businesses recognize the importance of having a job fair in the South Bay, specific to the needs of veterans.
Veterans really see that the community of Torrance welcomes them into our community, and we have so many products and services available to them.
The fair had companies like Pelican, Chase, Eddie's Barbershop, and Gerber Ambulance who are looking to hire 6 new EMTs. Even colleges like Cal State Dominguez Hills came to encourage education.
When they're back, they don't know they can come back and continue. So most of them were able to come back and work with us and kick off from where they stopped.
Senator Ted Lieu, also a veteran, came to support the career fair.
Let the employers match up with the veterans and use the skills that they've learned through the military training that they've received. And so if we can do that, we'll help lower some of the unemployment rate.
With about 182,000 women who've served in Iraq and Afghanistan, female veterans are more likely to be unemployed than men.
I was a military intelligence officer, but I had to take a waitress job at one point. And it takes time to build that up. But it's very hard to do that, and it's getting even harder. So it's really incumbent upon us to try to find opportunities to get these vets placed and make sure that, you know, they get what they fought for, and that's the America that we all believe in.
With veterans like Davis, and organizations looking to help veterans coming home will not only lower unemployment, but also give back a little to the men and women who fought for our country. For CitiCABLE 3, I'm Hiba Samed.
Thank you, Hiba. And finally, Friday, November 11th may not have meant much to you, but for some people the day was a lucky one because of its numerical significance. November is the 11th month of the year, and this being 2011 gives you 11, 11, 11. For 3 local families, the day was even more special since they welcomed 3 children into the world. Baby boy Aiden Kylo was born in Torrance Memorial Medical Center's Labor and Delivery Unit at 8:13 a.m. His proud parents are Melody Lomboy Lowe and Thomas Lowe, and while several parents scheduled a C-section for this day, Noah Sakamoto's birthday was strictly by chance. Her mother, Lisa, who happens to be a neonatal nurse at Torrance Memorial, was in labor for 27 hours at the same hospital before finally delivering via C-section. Noah was also born at 1:11 a.m. that morning. Baby girl Sophia Ivelisse Guerrero was born naturally at 3:49 a.m. at Providence Little Company of Mary Hospital. Her mom, Evelyn Sanchez, has something in common with her new baby. Evelyn was also born on 11/11, 23 years ago. Congratulations to all these 3 lucky families. And that's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Chun. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.